Ladies and gentlemen, to honor America, please stand for our national anthem. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Saratoga. And the outstanding weather continues here at the spa. Sunny skies, the temperature will approach 80 degrees later today. The main track is fast, the turf courses are firm. Portable rail up at 27 feet on the Mellon, and no portable rail on the inner turf. No carryover in the pick six, and here now today's changes. In the first race, scratch the 11. Close the game, Sugar. Scratch number 11 out of the first. And in the second race, scratch number 11, Welcome to My World. Scratch the 11 from race 2. Third race, no changes. In the fourth race, we have a jockey change now for number 7, Fire Sword. Make the jockey Joel Rosario. John Velasquez not riding here today. Joel Rosario rides number 7, Fire Sword, in the fourth. In race 5, scratch the 10, Alicia. Scratch number 10 out of race 5, which starts the pick 6. In the sixth race, scratch 1, Super Slews Cash, 11 Implicated, and 12 Socially Selective. Scratch 1, 11, and 12 from race 6. In the seventh race, note that number 7, Lady Thornhill, will wear a hood again. A jockey change on the 8, My Lips Are Sealed, to Ricardo Santana Jr. Ricardo Santana Jr. rides the 8, My Lips Are Sealed. Also scratch 10, OK Honey, and 11, Carrigate. Scratch 10 and 11 out of the 7th. In today's 8th race, we have a couple of rider changes. Number 1, Honey Money, will be ridden by Luis Cardenas. Cardenas on the 1. Number 6, Sweet Wilhelmina. The jockey is Tyler Gaffleone. Tyler Gaffleone on the 6, Sweet Wilhelmina. The 9th race is the Mahoney Stakes. Note that number 6 is 1 pound over. And in the 10th race, jockey change on the 7, Moon Hunter, to Trevor McCarthy. Trevor McCarthy will ride the 7, Moon Hunter. And scratch the also eligibles 10, Higher Quality, through the 14, Bold Victory. Scratch 10 through 14. Main track fast, turf courses firm. We'll come back at 12:30 to reprise the changes. First race post is at 1:05. Up next, the Sunday edition of Talking Horses with Andy Serling and Anthony Stabile.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Talking Horses, day 24 as we close out the 5th week here at Saratoga. Talking Horses is brought to you by our sponsors at Saratoga Springwater, Anthony Stabile, Andy Serling, and it's another glorious day.
It is. This is 3 in a row. This is a streak.
I think it's pretty much been the whole week, so things are going well. Nice day yesterday, and one day left to close the week out. We'll head over to Naira Bets, and we'll get to work on today's card afterwards. Use the promo code TOGA200. We will match for $200 of your initial deposit. Head over to Naira Bets, play through Naira Bets, bet any track, anywhere, at any time. We have a bankroll builder, bet 50 or more to win on the Mahoney Stakes today. Today's 9th and featured race, and we'll give you $20 towards your bankroll for Travers Day, which is coming up 2 weeks from yesterday, just 13 days until the Travers opt in over at Naira Bets. We have the low rollers every Thursday and Sunday. Today's Sunday. Head over to the Miller Time 4-Star Dave Sports Bar. Check out Jay and Ray. $40 buy-in, $30 bankroll, $10 prize pool. Nice sized crowd playing that every day. A lot of fun. Head over and play the low roller contest. And finally, last but not least, Saratoga Live, 3 to 5 on FS2, 5 to 6:30 on FS1. And of course, you can catch the early action on the Naira YouTube channel. That's on FS2 at 3 to 5, 5 to 1, 6:30. Race number 1. So race number 1 is a race devoid of form, devoid of pedigree, and the one, Deccan Prince, who I thought ran okay first time out in what came up a fast race. Oxymore, a horse who was purchased out of that race. I believe he's in Chad Brown's barn now, and they tried to stretch him out on top of a very fast pace that completely collapsed in that race going long. Now cuts back again. He's going to be a heavy favorite, and when somebody beats him in here, I have absolutely no idea who the heck it's going to be.
Yeah, so I was told first time out that Star Attitude would need the race and to bet this horse back on the grass. And this horse was training up here in Saratoga, was training down at Belmont Park. I don't know why. I didn't ask the question. I was just told not to bet last time.
So you were told, and you're betting and telling us to bet.
I was told to bet on the grass because.
So this is a big, this is a tip story.
Like you said, did Deccan Prince run so well first time out that I'm supposed to be afraid? Now, this horse is 9 to 1 right now. We got an hour and a half to post. He's 5 to 1 on the morning line, the 7. Do I want 5 to 1? I don't know, but Javier's riding really, really well. Carlos won a couple of races, won the last yesterday. I don't know. I'll take a little shot against a horse who is probably going to be the favorite because of his one race that, quite frankly, is not very good.
Okay, I think his races are okay. I think his last race is a lot better than it looks, and I have no idea, but that doesn't mean a horse that can run. That's either first time. They're all. I mean, there's only one other horse that's tried the turf in here, and that's MCRR, who did absolutely no running. So perhaps your tip is good. We'll see. The 4 God's Glory. I just couldn't resist a horse whose dam is named for a very funny movie. Where's Papa? It's the funny movie angle. She herself was over 3 on the turf. She produced one horse to try the turf that won. Got a 65 buyer, was nothing special. But I've got God's Glory for Jose Camejo. I think it's an interesting trainer. I've got that horse as my second choice in here. And the 9 Excalibrate, actually. And these are connections that are going to take absolutely no money here. But this is the one that has the best pedigree. The dam actually won on the turf. It's her first foal. She won $56,000 in the turf. And the second dam is an extremely strong turf influence horse named Love Cove, who ran for Tommy Albertrani. That's been a good producer and a good racehorse. So actually, if you want the pedigree horse in here, believe it or not, it's the 9 for connections that are going to take no money. And you could probably do worse, in my opinion, than throw this horse in at a huge, huge price.
Wow.
So we'll see what happens in
All
race
right,
number
well,
1. Race number 2. So you've got a situation, race number 2, where the 5 Towhead, Towhead, won a race that was declared no contest. Now, it was declared no contest because there was an incident with moving the gate, and the outriders told riders to pull up, and a number of riders did. So it was an unfair contest, the right move. Now, this horse held off Idea Generation, who's a very highly touted Klarovich, Chad Brown, European Tattersall purchase. Now, probably held that horse off because the pace was really slow, and Towhead was able to take advantage of it. But hold her off, she did. And with her experience, and in a lot of ways already a winner, coming back in here, I'm not going to pick against this horse. I'm also not going to be surprised if there's a first-time star in this race that has pedigree that's good. So I'm not way against this horse. You've left this horse out of the top 4?
That was a mistake. It's supposed to be 7, 1, 5, 10. That was my bad.
Okay.
I scribbled. That's me. Sorry. I was obviously not leaving a horse that won a race off the top 4. But I did want to take a couple of chances with the 2 Chad horses, who I think will be better prices than this horse because I think people are going to see that this horse did win. Obviously.
Okay. Is there a story on either Chad?
No, I don't have any stories. I just put the 2 Chads, 1, 2.
Pedigree concept?
No, there's no. Dam of the 1 was 3 for 20. It was all dirt. Dam for the 7 was unraced. Nothing really to speak of in here. It's funny.
Okay, let's stop.
Go ahead.
The 7 has a significant pedigree, not only for dirt, but especially for turf. The 7 is after Paradise, that good horse out west, Paradise, whose second name escapes me, that ran for Richard Mandela. But she's also a half to
Woods,
Paradise Woods. She's also a half to 6 horse to try the turf, 4 of a 1, and it's a huge turf pedigree. So from a dam side perspective, the 7, whose name I'm not going to try to pronounce because I'll mispronounce it. Consolante. This horse has a gigantic turf pedigree. Now, the 1 does not. As you pointed out, the dam got a 90 buyer in the dirt. Produced 3 horses to try the turf. None of them won. They all have dirt pedigrees. Now, this one's an Into Mischief. Chad Brown, with a very strongly bet and very impressive winner yesterday, won with a Cloud Computing to begin the day yesterday.
No turf pedigree.
So anything's really possible. But if you want a turf pedigree, the homebred from Alpha Delta, the 7, the towers over this field. I mean, this is a gigantic turf pedigree, so that's why I have the horse second. I have no idea. I'm just putting that horse second based solely on pedigree. But with Chad Brown, the problem with the 1 is it's with Chad Brown and Irad Ortiz, so it's one that's going to get bet more than the one with Joel Rosario. But I'm going to take the one with the pedigree. The other one wins, I lose. How about, so you just put the 2 Chad Browns, 1, 2.
Yeah.
Okay. I've got the 10. I mean, the other horse who has the real pedigree in here is Estrella on the outside, who's I have to tell your daddy, and Dynadrive, 2 horses that are stakes winners. Dynadrive winning the Lure last week, and Tell Your Daddy, who won the Bernard Baruch last year, both for Tom Morley. This is a big pedigree, and a Mendelssohn, Scat Daddy. There's plenty of there. I think it's a 3/4 actually. Tell Your Daddy, who I think is a Scat Daddy.
Yeah.
So there's huge pedigree on that horse. So I'm more looking at the 7 and 10 as the 2 horses with pedigree, and also the 2. Beautiful Navigator's got plenty of pedigree. The Damsters 4 to try the turf. They all won in Europe. Not superstars. I actually looked up Tabarak, who was probably the best of them, and I looked that horse up on time form, and that horse was no superstar, but did win some races over in Europe. But there is a pedigree, an Expert Eye, who's his first crop. I think the Expert Eyes have sold pretty well. How they've done, I don't know, but I'm assuming this horse was bought overseas, and Magdalena Racing is Ken McPeak's racing stable, correct? All right. But Towhead.
Towhead.
Okay. Towhead. Right, toe. Okay.
Like tow truck.
That's what it is? Is it that
I don't
thing
know.
on your,
Yeah,
is it the
that's
thing on
what it is.
that
It's
round thing
it's
on the,
yeah.
Learn something new on Talking
Como
Horses
se llama?
every day. Race number 3. What did you do in race number 3?
I went to Big Q.
Well, we'll show Big Q winning 2 races back, and you can talk about Big Q.
I just didn't want to
agree.
hear Gary Siaka saying I don't pick any of his horses. Just kidding.
I'm a little annoyed with Gary. I made fun of him the other day, and he hasn't even come by and given me a hard time about it.
You probably hurt his feelings.
Oh, I know, Gary. He's very
He's a
sensitive.
big softy.
He's very sensitive.
Can you let me do my work, Andy? Isn't Big Q supposed to just get to the top in here?
I don't think so, but I think it's not impossible.
I think Big Q goes to the lead now. Javier's been riding real aggressively, and I think.
What do you think Cardenas is going to do with Missing Link? Fall off at the gate?
Yeah, I mean, I guess he could go. But you really want to give up the inside position? I don't know.
Well, Missing Link is significantly faster than this horse.
She was significantly faster, and you could say that maybe on the turf she lost her speed, but I don't know. She really hasn't shown much speed in the last 2 races since the barn change. I don't know. I wasn't too concerned with her. 3 months ago,
What
I
about
would've been
Guns
concerned
Blazing?
with
You
her.
don't think Gomez is going to come out riding Guns Blazing?
I don't
She's
think-
faster, too.
I don't think she's faster. You think she's faster than Big Q? Maybe.
I look at pace figures.
Maybe
She's
she
a
is.
lot faster than
I don't
Big
know.
Q.
She's another one. Her last 2 or 3 starts, I don't know.
I
Since
don't
the
like
layoff.
her, but I think she has
but
more
since
speed.
since the layoff, she's kind of lost some of her speed. I don't know. I thought Big Q would get in
Came
front
out
of
of
these
a
horses.
pretty
and boss
fast-paced
them
race
around.
last time out.
I guess.
I mean,
I thought Big Q was the boss on the front end, and I thought
she's
that
not
would be
the
enough.
speed, but she is the most forwardly placed horse of the horses that make sense. And I think that's more important than anything else. I don't think you have to be on the lead. In what world has Big Q shown that she needs the lead to win?
No, I'm not saying. I just think
No,
that
but I'm
it's a
saying
big
she doesn't-
advantage that she's going to be of the contenders. She obviously has the most speed, and I
Yes,
think if
but
she could
that's-
be in
that's-
front,
I think she's not going to be in front unless the 2 and 7 both have significant difficulties at the top, or the jockeys decide that they don't want to give any
Okay.
chance to win. But that's fine. But I think it's important. I don't think you should give the impression she rates to be the speed, because she doesn't. She does rate to be much more forward, though, than my horse,
Yeah.
which I think gives her a distinct advantage over. And I don't disagree with any of it. I think my horse would be much better price. I think she's way the horse to beat, too. I'm totally with you. I just don't think she rates to be in front here.
the only horse I thought could beat it was Prairie Fire, and I have zero trust for Candy for Prairie Fire at this point.
Well,
Zero.
when she won 2 back, she was extraordinarily lucky. I mean, extraordinarily
Yeah, Mosey
lucky.
Ankle moved way too soon.
Everybody was too close to the pace
Yeah.
that mattered. And then last time, she was horrendous. And now Charlie claims for a quarter and runs for 16. Doesn't feel particularly exciting, does it?
No.
No, I'm not a fan of hers. I put her 3rd by default. I like the 3. I think she makes perfect sense in here, Shadalamo. We'll show her win 3 back. And, you look at her races, and she caught a wet track at 1 mile and a 16th, 2 races back. And then last time, for some reason, they ran on the turf. And you almost wonder if they ran on the turf because she had avoided claims. She was off 2 months. And they just kind of wanted to get a race into her, right? Never been on the turf before. She doesn't have any real pedigree. So they took a shot, dumped her on the turf. She can't run. She got a prep. And did she get a good trip in this race? She did. And the pace is a little murky here. So I get it. Big Q has an advantage on her, but Big Q's also going to be a significantly lower price.
Sure.
And I think on their best races relatively recently, Shadalamo's better. Now, Shadalamo's one of those weird horses, right? Claimed from a 2% barn that did great with her to a barn that wins races. And we see this time and time again. Low percentage barns have a horse they do well with. Higher percentage barns think, I'm going to claim that horse, and they just don't ever run well for them. It's amazing, right?
Yeah, it happens
Happens
far more
a
often
handful
than
of
you
times
expect
a year.
it to. Yes.
And very rarely does it seem to work the other way. It's bizarre, right?
It is. I wonder if it has anything to do with the fact that the smaller outfits have more time to take care of these
Oh,
horses.
sure. And they have one horse that's going really well, and there's an enormous amount of but that's not to say...
Not that all the horses aren't cared for, but
Right, and
if
I
you
don't
have a guy
think
with 5 horses and you have a guy with 55
I don't think
horses.
the Toscanos are doing her any less care.
Right.
But for whatever... It's the weirdest phenomenon in racing,
It's strange.
right?
It doesn't make any. Yes.
It's
It
none of
doesn't
those
make any
things when I
sense.
first got in the game, I'd say, why doesn't somebody that wins claim this horse? It seems good. And then I see them claim it. They never won. I don't know. It's great. You know me. I love Shadalamo. And by the way, I won last time with Jackie Davis. She won. Little shout out to our friend Jackie winning her first career race yesterday. I mean, that celebration.
At Saratoga.
That celebration with the Davises, the winner's circle, that could have been the 4-star Dave with our boy Lee.
Yeah,
And congratulations to Lee,
Yes.
who's a very good friend of both Anthony and I. And
Yes.
if you're lucky enough in life to have a friend like Lee Einseidler, you're an extraordinarily lucky person. I have 2. I got Anthony too. But
That's nice of you to say.
Lee
I
is,
have Lee.
Lee's the best. Just the best. I make fun of him endlessly,
Incomparable.
but I love the guy
An
with all my
incomparable
heart.
individual.
Yep.
You're pretty good too, Andy, but Lee is.
Lee rises above. He's just a wonderful man. And it was a nice moment because Lee is somebody that a lot of people around the racetrack know and have experienced the kindness in Lee.
And he's had so much faith in Casa Creed all these years.
I think he has faith in humanity somehow. I don't know. He still does.
I
but
don't
he
either.
does.
Remember what he ran? He ran him in the Champagne. He ran him in Firenze Fire Champagne.
Well, he's also mentally ill. That's also part of the problem. That's another reason we like him.
And co-owner Mike Francesa, congratulations to him too on his first.
Great to see Lee get that big win yesterday.
Yeah, it was
especially the bad luck they've had with High Oak this year. But we look forward to him coming back next year. Race number 4. Speaking of wonderful people in the horse racing industry, cost basis. So we're on a very different plane with cost basis. I'm going to show cost basis winning back in November. It is funny when I sent the replays to Anthony. I thought, my gosh, the last time this guy won was 9 months ago. You know. Now I will say, I know he didn't run well last time, but he was also 4 wide against a gold rail, so he was against it. And Chad Brown's first time for a tag numbers in Saratoga with non-maidens are off the charts good. This guy's going to be forward, though not likely in front, and I just think he's too good for these. You obviously have a significant. I also, by the way, as far as the drop, where are they supposed to run?
No.
I know you don't disagree. He's a non-winners of 3 other than 5-year-old gelding in the second half of his year. If somebody wants to claim him for 50, I hope they have the best of luck with him, and they might.
So,
but
I don't think he's going anywhere. I think you have to tell he'll be eligible for starter races. I think it'll be 2 to 5 in the starter 50 next time he runs. That's what I think.
Okay.
And I think it'll be for Chad Brown and Klarovich because I don't think anybody's taking this horse. Because, like you said,
by the way, you're under 1,000. You 2 wins yesterday.
100.
Well, no, you're 99.
You said 1,000.
Whatever. It'll be 1,000 eventually. You're at 99. Okay, so I want to bet you a lunch. I don't think you're wrong, but I'm going to bet you a lunch this horse gets claimed.
I'll take a bet on it.
Okay, 1 lunch. I don't know that you're wrong. I just want to have some action.
I'm going to.
Now you got me on a steam.
For 50.
You got me on a little steam. On the
For
lunch.
50, it's not
No,
a
it's no layup.
suspicious drop.
No.
It's not.
So
and
why
it's
are
a
you
lot of
against
money.
him? So why are you against him?
Andy, Andy, he ran 5 times last year. Now that's not a lot. But when he came back from the layoff from January to August, he raced 4 times and was probably in the best form of his career. He goes to the bench for 3 months. He comes back. He was not very good against Big Engine and Answer.
Race got a big figure.
But we both know.
Race
So
got a
we're
big
going to
figure.
believe that's the best race of his life because that's the biggest figure of his life.
It's a fast race. All figures for that race are fast.
Okay,
just
fine.
letting you know.
Okay. I'm not buying that that's the best race. How's Big Engine done since then?
Well, Big Engine also came up the rail, which he needs to be on.
He's a rail
been
runner.
wide
You pointed it
about
out
4
a million
times
times.
in a row.
I think that's a phony race. He's gone another 2 months. He stunk last. I mean, he stunk last
Anthony,
time. Blinkers or no blinkers.
You have him behind Swiftsure.
I don't like this horse for a dime today.
Okay, we disagree. So, please enlighten us with Lafitte's Fleet, or a video I would have shown if I thought you were crazy enough to pick him.
Why is this? You think this is a crazy pick?
I think it's an unlikely winner. And listen.
He won.
I
for
hope
a
I'm
barn.
wrong. Always rooting for the Cantermachis.
He won
Wonderful
for this
people.
barn when this barn had yet to heat up. He kind of was the one that started bringing them out of the doldrums. And now he gets a little freshening. He comes to Saratoga. He's not on the drop. He's
you
not
think after he won that race, he went back with some pom-poms
Yeah.
and rallied the
I think he
troops in the barn?
walked up and down the
Shed
shed
road and
road.
said, all right, boys.
Yep.
Got like a
exactly,
college
yeah.
try, yeah. Okay.
Right in everybody's face. He got really in
We
everybody's
could get some video of that.
Man, it's Sunday. He's going to be a good price. I don't want cost basis.
Okay.
There are a lot of sells
But
for me in
wouldn't you
here.
agree that his last race was his best race ever, and now he probably has to take another step forward to win this race?
Absolutely.
Okay.
But
Okay.
is it
No,
a huge?
I don't think he's impossible,
Is it
Anthony.
a huge step?
No, I don't think he's impossible. And if you're right about the 2, then the race is more
Race is
open.
far more wide
See,
open, yeah.
I think Fire Sword is a danger in here because he's going to be in front, or he should be in front. And I'll tell you something else. That race he comes out of could be a lot better than that figure suggests.
Absolutely.
The winner ran 6 points better winning. The second horse came back to win in a tough race with a 13 buyer point improvement, backing up a prior number. We know Chateau is capable of running much faster
Well, that's
figures.
what I was going to say to you is, what would the 3 horses that beat him last time be in here?
They'd all be players.
They'd all be the favorite.
Yes. So
every one of them would be the favorite without the other in the race.
Maybe. That's fair. But so I almost picked her on,
Oh, well,
on
cost
top.
basis. Okay, yeah, that's fine.
I also think that Tom Amos's horse is very dangerous. Horse has back races that are pretty good. And I thought this horse was dangerous, cutting back from a mile. I like the cut back for this horse. That race 3 back's good enough to win here.
Yeah, that horse can win.
I'm going to have to disagree with your third
I didn't want to
selection.
get completely crazy and leave cost basis out, but off the top 4.
Okay. We'll see what
Yeah,
happens.
Evan.
Oh, Phil,
Evan-
happy birthday, Phil.
yes, it is Phil's birthday.
Phil's
Happy
over by
birthday
the
to
set.
Phil.
He's accepting gifts. If you want to come by and give him, he'll take anything, any denomination from a penny up. Works
Cigars.
for Phil.
Big
Whatever,
cigar
right?
fan.
Yeah, yeah. Tickets to future events, anything you've got. Race number 5. The race number 5 was one of the most interesting races of the week, actually, because there's an enormous amount going on in this race, top to bottom. And it's funny, I even saw the 9 Parents' Pride, and Parents' Pride was a Ken Ramsey. The Dam Ava's Kitten was a Ken Ramsey horse that Chad Brown claimed, named for Chad's oldest daughter, Ava. And Ava was here yesterday, and I said, Ava, you know, you got a horse running tomorrow. And I showed her that this horse was the first foal. And she was a pretty good turf horse.
She
You've
was.
got that horse in there somewhere.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on in here. Enlighten me on She's Stormy.
Gonna try and get my man Jimmy Jerkins off the duck up here. The horse ran closing weekend last year. Ran into Bubble Rock, who was okay at the time. Bubble Rock came back to win the stakes race. Showed speed that day, tired late. Now gets Lasix, gets Javier Castellanos a full to the stakes winner, gets smoking. And I just thought maybe fresh, already having a race over the track.
Don't you worry that the 4 Glitter Up is going to get in this
I do.
horse's way?
I do. Yeah, I do.
Glitter Up was one of my favorite beats, by the way, of 2021. That was a nice beat at 16-1, losing to a 52-1 shot, who, by the way, has turned out to be a pretty good horse.
Nice horse. Yeah, real nice horse.
I gave her a look. I had her as my 5th pick. I get it. I just think that she's going to face pressure. And this is a very tough, potentially very tough spot to be coming
I don't
back in.
disagree.
So I hear you. Things to recommend. Mrs. Green, we'll go back and look at her race last time. And I will say that she ran extremely well. And if she runs back to this race, they are going to have to run to beat her. The winner got a tremendous ride by Irad to beat her. Was a Chad Brown off a layoff horse. Libretto, who you would like last time, has subsequently worked well, but we'll get to that in a second. And probably had a tough trip in making that big middle move like she did. But I'm still not sure how much I really like her in this race because I just don't know if she's good enough. Apparently she's working well, and one of the reasons that Jorge Abreu liked the horse that you picked in the last race that did absolutely no running was the working, I believe, with this horse. So that doesn't excite me at all. I kind of wanted to use her, but I think you have to agree. And we both picked against the 2, but she ran terrific last time.
No question about it. No question about it.
Yeah, and that race, and maybe she's just a horse that less distance
Playing
is
the early
better.
pick 5, pick 4 to pick 6. Usually you're not leaving this
Well,
horse
I
out.
could use a
obviously.
lot of horses in
Yeah,
this
so
race.
could I. But she's the one you're not leaving out.
So you have linear thinking second, I have her third. We'll show her debut. Linear thinking is a funny horse because there was a story on her way before she ever ran that
Yep.
somebody on the internet gave me. And I almost think it came out of, I'm not going to say the farm, but where this horse was working as a 2-year-old. And it is very possible that she was freakishly good before at that point. The problem is, as Anthony knows, and I know, and many of you may know, there are horses that are training for trainers that are the second coming. And then there's an issue, comes along, and they get him back, and the horse just can't run anymore. Now, I'm not saying this horse can't run.
We don't know anything. Right, we don't know
The debut was
anything.
decidedly mediocre. This horse has gone to the second team, to Jorge Abreu, which is not a demotion, because they win, these horses. They do win.
They win plenty.
But hard to have confidence. Jorge Abreu told me yesterday that the rider, I feel like he said it was Jose Lescano, but I could be wrong. I think he told me that this horse, he thought the way the horse ran, the workouts wanted to go shorter. I don't know. I have no confidence in this horse.
Right, that's the one thing that was a little confusing. This horse, that was, again, so that's 2020. This horse was a 2-year-old. We write 2-year-old turfs. We write turf sprints for the 2-year-olds at Aqueduct. She could have ran in a turf sprint. They opted to run her going long. And now she returns from that 19
Very hard
months
horse to have a lot of
going
confidence
short.
in, but somewhere, sometime she was good. But who
But
knows?
we did
if
have the big, there was a story on her, correct.
Oh, there was a huge story. And I actually asked Chad Brown about it, and he said, he kind of looked at me half blankly. And so I'm not, like he was, I'm not to say they didn't like her, but so I'm going to bet on the 8 in this race. And
Okay.
I'm fully prepared to be completely wrong about this horse. But this horse is a sprinter. Now, I don't know if she's a good sprinter, but she's a sprinter. And if you watch the replay of her first race for Brennan Walsh off a 3-month layoff, she got a 3-wide tour around the racetrack. And
That's different than a 3-hour tour like the SS Minnow.
Right.
Three
This was
wide
a minute
tour.
and 38-second tour around the racetrack, and she probably needed that race. Now, I was told as I was walking in the track long after I picked this horse, because this horse had fascinated me when I first started looking at the race, that this horse's last work or recent work outworked the horse that finished second in the Mrs. Penny. The workout report said she broke in front of her, the horse
Down
came
at
to
Parks.
her, and then she re-broke from her. Well, the horse who won that race finished second in the green Beverly D, whatever that was going on yesterday at Churchill, whatever surface they want to label that. But she's a good horse. That's Mike Stidham's horse, really nice horse, Princess Grace.
Princess Grace.
Right, and she's a good horse. So I think this horse is now going back to doing what she wants to do. And don't you get the feeling that Brendan 0 for 13, Walsh, is not ending this meet 0 for 23?
You would
He
think
is too
not.
good a trainer to keep losing. And you wonder if maybe some of his horses just needed a race.
I'll say this. She was running at the lesser tracks over in Europe.
No, I know. I get all that.
What bothered me the most about that was her best finishes came on the synthetic. Her 2 turf races over there on paper were her worst. So maybe she's just not a turf horse.
She's got a lot of turf pedigree. We'll see. I think she's an interesting player in a fascinating race.
This is a wild race. I wouldn't talk anybody off anybody in here.
No. There's a lot of horses
It's a wild
in this race.
race.
Even the 9 who you have 4th. She's got pedigree. There's a lot going on. And speaking of interesting races, and we'll be back after a quick break, but the 6th race coming up, there are enough stories in this race, workouts.
I haven't heard a thing.
I don't have tips. I don't get tips. You get tips. I get workout information. That this race is full of runners. So we'll be back. Talk about the 6th in a moment.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
We're back. Welcome back to Talking Horses. Anthony and Andy. Talking Horses brought to you by our friends at Saratoga Spring Water. Race number 6. I'm going to start out with a strong opinion in this race. And by the way, Todd Plesher unleashed a first-time starting 3-year-old yesterday.
Ooh.
Express Man got a 107 buyer. And if you don't think that buyer's legit, let me ask you a
So
question.
what's the second horse? Second horse got like a 95
Well, I'm
then?
going to say 2 things. 93, I think.
Okay.
How many 7-furlong races have gone under 123 at this meet? Is it possible?
I'm
going to
say one.
Yeah.
No shot.
Yeah, I didn't know how fast the race was. I knew he went a lot, and I saw David Aragona last night, and he said I went.
You know, it's fun. It's funny, and I know we don't have that much time, but hosting breakfast every morning here, you're watching thousands of horses a week train on this track. It's not even just in the afternoon that the track's a little. It's,
This horse.
This
the
horse
interesting
is
thing
fast.
This is the second week in a row that the wrong half of the Pletcher entry. It happened with the 2-year-olds when Krupe ran so well, and they loved the other one. And it's funny because I saw Irad Ortiz in the winner's circle because I was down there, and he was waiting for Todd, who was going to the winner's circle with that horse, and Irad had ridden the one that ran second. And I went over to Irad, and I said, I heard the one you were riding was supposed to be. He goes, yeah, that's what I thought. He laughed. He said, that's
Well,
what I
could
thought
you
too."
imagine you run a 93, you beat the rest of the field by 5 lengths, and you can't
That was
find
a
your stablemate?
freakishly
That was a
good
freaky
performance.
race.
Coupled with the Cave Run, Cave's the horse in the Bob Baffert, California.
Cave Run.
Arrogate, Cave 101 buyer for that horse. That horse, I don't agree with the chart. The horse won easily, but the horse won, ridden out to handily. That horse a freak show. That horse the best looking 2-year-old we've seen so far this year. That was out race 7 at Del Mar. So, Chocolate Gelato. one horse has come back out of this race and didn't do anything to suggest the figure was accurate. It was a very hard number to make. It was the race after we got all that rain. Then we ran turf races, and there has been some debate among friends of mine, and I meant to mention Andy Beyer called me this morning, that this figure of 79 is not one that's going to do well going forward. This horse got a 75. The second horse, the Godolphin, we're waiting for that horse to run back. I'm sorry, in a 6-horse field, a Todd Pletcher, Mike Rapoli, first-time star on opening day here, that goes off at 55 cents a dollar, this horse is supposed to win. And there are too many horses supposedly coming in this race working well to take this horse. And I'm not sure that figure shouldn't be 65.
I put a third. I don't have any. I didn't hear anything in here, so I put a third.
So you didn't hear anything here, but you've picked Firing Bullets on top.
Well, I don't need. See, this is why. Don't get me on my soapbox.
Well,
about
you're wrong
the
about this
workout
stuff,
reports.
but if you want to keep saying
I need a workout report to tell me
Go ahead.
bullet 59 and 2,
yes,
bullet
you
47
do.
and
Yes,
3.
you do, Anthony.
Oh, okay.
Because you've picked a lot of firsters
Okay.
telling us stories on how they've worked that are slower than slow.
Okay.
You don't need workout reports, but you need one of two things. You need either to read workout reports or you need to know somebody like Acacia or Maggie or David who watch workouts and can say to you, because you know as well as anybody in the game that the times of workouts mean nothing.
When you have 6 bullets and you have 6 workouts like this, I don't need anybody to tell me the horse is fast.
Okay.
Because you can do it once
But
or twice.
You do
can't
this
do
a
it
lot,
6 times.
And the money that's bet on races is based on how the workouts occurred, not how fast they were in
Andy,
the
I
paper.
preach that all the time. What I'm saying to you is, you can do
don't.
it. I tell people all the time, I can go back there at any time,
Don't.
take any horse, and get them to work 47 and 4.
I'm going to
Now,
respectfully disagree.
Some of them will have a jockey on
This
their back.
horse apparently is
Yeah,
extremely
this horse.
quick.
I guess this
We'll
horse is
show-
quick.
We'll show you his 2-year-old sales work. He worked 9 4/5, and he's obviously a very fast horse. There's no doubt about it. Now, I've heard that. I thought Take Charge Brianna, by the way, would run a lot better the second-time Lucas horse. And back in his second-time Lucas horses, that horse got an 80-something buyer yesterday,
That was
83
rolled.
buyer. The state winner got an 86 buyer, and congratulations to Michelle Lovell and the connections of that horse, who have bred like 4 generations of that horse and got a good horse.
Great story.
Very, very nice horse. Interpolate, I've heard, has worked well. Uppercase. This horse you've left out, and you don't leave a lot of Bill Mott horses out. I've been told this horse has worked extraordinarily well, but I am going to say something. Today is Jockey Club Round Club Day, table day. Perhaps someone could bring up over there how a horse that's a half to a Meadow Stable horse that ran for Meadow Stable, that was Reva Ridge's stablemate, that won the Florida Derby and the Wood Memorial in 1972. Do you mean to say we really need to approve names for horses that won races like that? Come on.
I would imagine.
There's enough names out there. And I'm not saying, by the way, I'm guessing the owner of this horse had no idea of that. But
Yeah, I can imagine Larry Best knew that.
no, I don't think he did. And I don't blaming, but I don't believe that.
It's
enough.
50. It's
There's
50 years.
Enough work. There was one of the Wood in the Florida Derby.
I wonder if the
Little
database.
respect
I wonder
for
if
the
the
game.
database goes back that far.
They know who Uppercase is. I guarantee there's people at the Jockey Club who know who Uppercase is. Oh, you don't think there's anyone? You know, Stuart Janney knows who Uppercase is? I guarantee he does.
How do you think that phone call goes? Hey, Stuart, we got one here trying to get the name
It's not the
Uppercase.
point. It's not the point.
I know what
I
you're
love
saying.
this
but
game.
I know what you're
love
saying,
this
but
game.
If this is like having the conversation about the Yankees retiring
When
numbers.
you're 70, there are going to be names. If there's a name like this, that's going to.
I mean, I got aggravated when there was another same old wish. So you're talking about, but
A lot of old timers in the game
I
have great
get
respect
it.
for this game,
I
and
get it.
it's. I don't think
get
it's
it.
wrong. I think I'm
get
right.
it. You think you're right? I can't believe you think you're right.
I've heard the 6 is working well.
Half to American Monarch.
The 9 got a couple in there. We'll see. I don't know. This looks like a very fast race, like a very good race. Very good. So it'll come up a 78, 53 buyer or something. No, I don't. I think we're going to see some.
Take
good ones
Charge
coming out.
Brianna will win by a length and a half.
I don't think it's impossible. I'm really excited about race number 7. Now, the first thing I'll say about race number 7, aside from the fact that you've got it all wrong, is that if the 3, and we'll take a look at her last race, and I'll
Spongy.
explain why she lost last time. If she comes back and runs well, she's going to win. She's better than these. Why did she lose last time? Well, she was 3 wide around the racetrack when the rails came down, the same 4-star Dave week as this week. And as anybody that's paying attention has seen on the inner turf races, You're 3 wide around 2 turns here. You got no shot. And horses that are saving ground for a significant portion of the races are dominating those races day after day, race after race after race. So she was compromised. Her prior races will blow this field out of the water. But she's also coming off a long layoff. Bilmont's 17% with 46 starters, 250 days plus with turf routers. You're not trying to beat her, though. You're going to have just lost to a Bilmont firster, and now you're going to.
I'm just, see, to me, because I did watch the replay, just looked to me like something went wrong around the 16th hole.
I don't think she was 3 wide against the
And
Gold
then she
Rail.
was gone.
She's 3 wide against
You're
Gold
the
Rail.
sickest guy on the planet.
No,
you know that, right?
This is what
She
people.
was gone for a year.
Right, this is what people want to know. They want to understand biases. They want to understand why
I
horses
understand
lost.
all of that.
I understand you don't watch how races are run because you've picked Home for Christmas.
Hold on a
with
second.
no shot in this
I
race.
understand
None.
where
Zero.
you're coming from, but you don't think something necessitated the year-plus layup? You think it had anything to do with the finish last time?
I don't have any reason to
You
believe
watched
it.
that
I've
race.
seen enough
Look at
horses
her
get
from the
through-
16th hole home.
Okay, we disagree.
There's no disagreement.
No, we disagree.
If we got Bilmont in front of us, he would tell you something happened in the race.
Something could have happened 3 weeks later training up for her next
It
race.
could have, but if you're watching that replay, you know that something in all
No,
likelihood
you
happened
don't.
in the. Okay.
You know that you could
Okay,
be right.
okay,
You
okay.
know you could be right. But one
Okay.
thing I know for sure
Right,
is she
that's
tried
fine.
to
That's
do
fair
something
enough.
that's impossible
That's
to
fair
do.
enough.
That's all
That's
I'm
fair
saying.
enough.
You
She
don't
has
know
races
for
on. She
sure.
has races on a car that'll just smother this field, and that's why I picked her because
Two battles.
yes, she has to come back from a year. Plus, oh, it's a year and 2 days.
A lot of
right?
horses come back and they're not the same
A lot
horse.
of horses come back and can't outrun me and you.
Yeah,
That's all well and good.
So, Home for Christmas comes out of a very interesting race, and we'll show the whole race. And I'm going to give you my version of how this race played out. First of all, I don't know what Jose Ortiz was doing without his sight, because to wrangle her back from on the inside in this race like he did in a ridiculous slow pace was not his finest moment. So that screwed the whole race. The winner was allowed to walk on the front end, and as a result of that, Home for Christmas found herself on top of a ridiculously slow pace when she should have been much farther back. So what did Joel Rosario do? He tucked her in the rail. While this shenanigans was going on, the number 6 horse, Instinctive, was 2 wide in the first turn, out of position behind a slow pace because she doesn't really have a lot of speed, to say the least. And she had to be wide the entire way behind a paceless race. Home for Christmas, she got second because she was sucking along on the inside, and Joelle at least was smart enough out of the gate to be forward in a race where out of sight was supposed to be forward. And she wasn't. How she wasn't forward in there in that pace, based on her prior races, is crazy. And I know you agree with that because we talked about it that
Ripped
day.
the face off, yeah,
And
for
because
no
of that,
reason.
it changed the entire dynamic, which dropped it into the lap of Home for Christmas, who's never really run very well. And poor Instinctive was just caught wide and out of position the whole way, and I thought ran possibly the best race of anybody in here. And she gets the rail today, the coveted rail. Manny can just sit on it. And they're supposed to be moving a little here early with Palace Gossip stretching out and My Lips Are Sealed coming back.
Yeah, you make some good points
Oh,
about
thanks.
the
Appreciate that.
the trip last time. It was an unusually run race. I think that's a nice way to put it. Yeah, I guess.
I'm betting Instinctive, and I'm making 3-1 because I do agree with you. If the 3 is still the horse she is a better horse than these horses, and I think it's relatively not that close. That I agree with completely.
Yeah.
I just don't need her off a long layoff.
Okay.
We'll see what My Lips Are Sealed does. Trainer changed to Rob Atras.
I got a third. Imagine
Yeah.
she just follows Palace Gossip. Tries
Pretty quick. this
I
horse.
don't know if she can get around Palace Gossip.
Well, the problem is I don't know if she can win a race without the lead.
Right.
That's what worries about her.
In case Palace Gossip stubs her toe, or she is able to, or Johnny just blasts her off from the 8 hole.
Race number 8.
She could be dangerous.
You and I are going to agree on this race, and this is another OXO horse that I've got on top. If Rattlehouse, you didn't like her at all, Two-Back. I had her second. I thought she was dangerous. You and I both were a little. Actually, I don't think I was. No, I was there. I was a little circumspect of her last time as well. The board wasn't. We'll take a look at her last race. She's supposedly working well. She looks like she's ready for stake races after this, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does.
Another step forward, gets her figure into the 90s. This filly can run.
She does. She'll cut back to the 7, which should not be an issue.
She has really turned her life around.
Especially the way, you see this 7/8 race. I mean, I guess Honey Money
She could win the Empire Distaff if she keeps improving, right?
keeps doing this, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I
That's
guess
a long way to winning that, but
Right.
still.
I guess Honey Money could go, but I mean, if you're Javier, aren't you just going to do what took you to the dance the last time? Just break out of there running and whatever.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is, yes, as you say, the 1 and 3 both have the potential for speed, but even if they outrun her,
just
she's
sit
going to
outside
stalk
of
them.
him. Yeah.
I'm not trying to beat this filly.
She seems to be like, I hate to use the free bingo square term, but
Well,
if you're telling me Betsy Blue's the second choice, Betsy Blue
hang
ran
on a
well
second.
last time.
We'll show Betsy Blue's last race. Betsy Blue ran last time.
She
It's
did.
not like that race was
She
falling
did.
apart. Now, maybe she's the horse who closed, the pace was contested, and she ran. But you watch this race, and Betsy Blue has always been a really neat horse.
She's been off the board once in her entire career. Yeah, I mean,
Take your time, guys.
she's good.
Yeah, my friend Alan owns a little piece of her, I think.
Nothing wrong with her. But, you know, it's usually a grind for her. And you look at the way Brattlehouse has won her last 2 races, and you feel like...
Oh, I'm not. You see, I picked a race 5-4. I'm not. Brattlehouse has been kind of brilliant, but I don't want to ignore that this filly ran extremely well last time. As you say, she is a model of consistency. I mean,
Yeah.
Linda Rice, 13 times out of 15, first or second.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I'm always rooting for the tonalists.
You do love tonalists. The source you have second, a little interesting. I didn't like her, but okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
It's in good
no,
form.
I mean, she's in good form. That was it.
Yeah.
Scott Lake making a rare appearance.
Not going to be here, you think?
Sunday, no Parks. There could be a Scott Lake sighting here today.
I like
That
Scott.
wouldn't surprise
I
me.
haven't seen him in years. I
Owns
don't know him
part of
that
this
well,
filly
but
too
he's
at
always
Richie.
super nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be a Scott Lake. I mean, he's...
I thought Halo City could get a piece
He's
here.
top 5 in wins.
Really? In career?
Definitely top 10. He could be 5th or 6th.
Do you think it made it sort of his achievement was cheapened a little when Tom Amos won his 4,000?
You know, Tom was just the 15th person to win 4,000 races
Amazing. I love that he did it here.
as a trainer.
I love that Tom did it here.
Yeah.
I do.
Haven't
I love that he did it.
haven't seen him since.
He's
but
in
I know.
Kentucky.
that's my
He's Nellis
that's my
today.
coffee partner
I
in
know.
breakfast.
He's a wonderful
Yeah.
man. Clipped only by his family, who are all better
Yes,
than him.
all great people.
I like Halo City a little bit. I just got a thing for her. I'm going to use her.
I put a 4th too.
All right, race number 9.
Honorable mention for
To
Tally
Mahoney.
and
let's give a
Mahoney.
little love to Pat Mahoney, who, of course, named for the whole Mahoney family that were so deeply involved. I'm not going to give everybody all the details here, but you've heard the stories before, talk about the show, with the parimutuel wagering throughout
Sure.
the ages in this country. And Pat Mahoney was our head of mutuals for many years, was one of my favorite coworkers, one of the people I feel most fortunate to have worked with at NYRA. A terrific person and a person who we can all learn a lot from, and just a great guy. And I look
After
forward to
me,
him
of course.
coming up. Well, everybody's after you, Anthony. It's you. It's kind of like you're here.
Secretary of
This
Poll.
is Anthony, and here's everybody else. Okay, so you know. In case you didn't know, you knew that already. So
Make a great point.
I would like to be a wise guy because there are a couple interesting horses in this
Yes,
race,
there are.
but I'm sorry.
The 2 we rounded out the trifecta with.
I'm sorry. This horse looks to me like a Breeders' Cup turf sprint contender.
I was
to me.
saying, I said, you know something? Christoph doesn't ordinarily do this. He doesn't really like to run the 3-year-olds, but this horse is just—he's Hickory.
Well,
He's
he showed
Hickory.
Big Invasion's last win.
I mean,
I
he's
have a question for
unbelievable.
you, Anthony. Is he trying to become the first repeat winner of the meet?
We talked about this yesterday. No, trying to, yes. Nobody succeeded. Who
That's
do we
what I
have?
mean. No, I mean, is he-
Yeah. I don't believe we've
I don't
had
think
2.
there's been a two-time winner, which is unusual. This
More than halfway home.
60%,
Sure.
60% home.
I don't disagree.
He's a 60%er.
Yeah. He'll try to become the first 2-time. He'll not the first to try, but he'll be try to succeed.
Probably the likeliest to succeed. I won't take anything for granted, but this guy, he's like a machine.
If you were going to beat him, you were probably going to get him 2 back, right? When you had the big lead on him, and you know he's a horse that's never really out of contention. He's 2, 3, 4 lengths off the lead, and 2 starts back. When Asymmetric just opened up that big lead, you thought, well, maybe today's the day. He's got to make up more than a handful of lengths. And quite frankly, up until last time, that was his best effort when he had to come Moto's horses down. Yeah, I mean,
This is a good horse.
yeah,
It's
this is a
very
really good horse. What are you
Now,
supposed to do here?
I want to talk about Catamosto.
Okay.
And I also want to mention something about Catamosto. He is a trainer and owner change. He's been bought since his last race because he was a Coolmore horse that was with Aidan O'Brien. And you'll be able to see that he was a Coolmore horse when you watch the race. Commonwealth, 3 races back where he ran 4th behind the very talented Perfect Power. I just show him. You see him in those purple silks. I felt like he was moving even better before the eventual winner. He almost drifted into him. He wasn't fouled by that horse, but the eventual winner, I believe, is the yellow horse on the inside, the 2-path. You see how he's coming over towards him? Watch this, Anth.
Yep.
does he kind of shy a little
Yeah.
bit there, like he was getting there?
Yeah.
That's a
I don't
very-
know if he's going to get there, but
No,
he's
no,
certainly
no,
going
like
to.
he
Yeah.
was going
Yeah,
forward. I'm not saying he's going to win,
yeah.
but it seemed like he
That
shied a little
discouraged him.
bit
That
when he
discouraged
got
him.
there.
No question about
And
it. That discouraged
that's
him.
a 10,000 horse field, 20 actually, at Ascot. And then they tried a July Cup against Olders, and he got in a little bit of trouble at 30-1 alcohol-free and won last year's Coronation.
Those
I think.
20 horse fields are amazing to watch, aren't
The
they?
horse ran okay last time out in a Group 2. Been purchased privately. This has just been, he's been a little bit of a disappointment. He's run against the best horses over in Europe in the sprinting levels in his group. I mean, this is a pretty good horse. Now, he's going to be badly outrun in this race.
You're either going to be right. I
He's
think
going to have to outclose Big
if
Invasion.
you're going to right, and you and I talk about this a lot. If you're going to try to beat a big favorite, you should probably try to do it
Well,
with a
I don't
horse.
think favorite. A really good horse.
Yeah.
You
But
better beat him playing a different game.
and that's
Or be
why,
really good yourself.
And that's why I put that's right second, because he is going to play the most different game he possibly could, because he is going to be gone. I know
Good
Surprise
luck.
Boss has some speed.
Oh, no. You're right.
He's gone.
Woe to the horse that tries to keep up with this horse.
Yeah, it's not
because
happening.
This horse is very,
He's
very
fast out of the gate. He's fast at the quarter pole. He's fast at the wire. This horse is flat out fast.
And I don't disagree with you that, and we'll take a look at
The
that
blinkers in the
Wright's
turf.
last race in
Blinkers in
Monmouth.
the switch to turf, and this horse become an absolute gorilla.
Do not make the mistake. This horse beat Olders like a drum, 2 and 3 back.
Twice, yeah.
Don't make the mistake of thinking
Could
this
you
horse
imagine this
can't
horse
win.
paid $960 last time off those two older horse races?
Imagine that this horse paid $31.60 as a first time on the turf.
Scary. Scary.
Why don't we claim him for 40 on the dirt?
It's like this is like the Checky Shabazz 2.0.
It's like the horse that Rob Masiello had that passed over the
Fire, yeah.
Yeah.
His horse is fast. This horse is fast. Big Invasion has just been so good.
No,
and has
no, but
overcome all
don't,
this.
don't
with a
right, but don't, and you've got this horse, do not sleep on this horse.
No.
And I agree with what you said. You try to beat this horse, you're much more likely to do it towards the front.
Yeah.
Now, listen, maybe it's just not good enough and going to class up to a horse like Big
Right.
Invasion, but don't make the mistake
You
of
could
thinking
fake
this
an
horse
awful
can't
lot
run.
of things going 5.5
This horse
furlongs.
is a good horse. This horse is-
And this horse, and that's
can
one thing
roll.
a lot of the times they come up, he went the 5.5 last time. So it's not like he has to, those 5 furlong races at Monmouth, he went 5.5 last time out of that chute. So,
Get no argument from me. Scott
Yeah.
Lake is here, by the way. I got to.
oh, good. I got to stop by and see him. Haven't seen Scott in probably 10 years.
I'm not even going to respond to what somebody sent me. Okay, race number 10. We're going to show you Reckless Spirit. Race 10. And I think a lot of people would argue he's one of the more likely winners of the card. And I don't particularly disagree with that notion, because what we've seen in this race, he's better than. Now, maybe he's just in career form. In the last race, Ricochet came back and won. Pluder's Buyer 4 points at 11-1. The third horse came back to win at 5-1, improving the Buyer figure 5 points, won a Stallion Series race. The fourth horse, a huge favorite, that was against the track, came back to win, ran the same figure. But he was very much with the flow of the race. And I don't think you'll argue, and I think he's a likely winner, I'm not wildly against him, but I don't think you want to argue that that was the best race he ever ran.
Last time. No question about
But it's also fair to say he's improved in both his last, second to last, and last time. And
it.
maybe
Right. He
he's just a
carried
better
his
horse
form.
than Jimmy
He carried
Bond.
his form across the 6-month layoff,
And he improved on it.
and he improved on it. Yeah.
Last race, best race he ever ran.
Yep.
I thought. But I got to bet Hatch.
Okay.
I have to bet this horse. This is a horse that there were a couple mistakes made with him. They tried to run him on the turf first time out. He got rained off. Then it was December, and he was at Turfway, so they ran synthetic. And I don't know why they decided to sprint him twice in the dirt. Then Mike Maker claimed him with the express intention of running on the turf, and that race got rained off about 10 seconds before the race was run. And now Carlos Martin said the same thing in Epona Racing and Toga Party Road. And they said, I want this horse for turf too. So they claimed this horse, and they're going right to the turf with him. Well, it's not a dirt horse. And this horse comes from a dam that was very good in the turf. Got a 96 buyer in the turf, was a major runner on the grass. And this is her first full. And Fort Larned, people will forget, Fort Larned won on the turf before he got good in the dirt. Fort Larned actually
this
has
was
turf in him.
all. This was the all.
E. Dubai was
all
like a
Ian Wilkes.
13%er,
Yeah.
I think, a 12 or 13%er. He was a decent enough turf sire. So this is a very interesting horse. And I think you'll agree, even though you have the 8 second, it's hard to see other horses beating the 3. And much like you talk about the last race with a speed, you want to beat the 3, you're supposed to bet a fuzzy, and the 5's the fuzzy.
Yeah. Fair enough.
And I have no argument against the 3, by the way. I'm
Right.
not in any way suggesting
Right.
he's not an
I
hour
think the
horse.
3 is going to be tough, so.
He is going to be tough. No, I don't. And by the way, I might be
Lou-
right about the
Lou-
5 and may run second to him. He may run well.
Louis owns a piece of the 8, so honorable mention to relate. That was another one they bought out of
Yeah,
the,
he kind of, I brought up the dinner thing, but
Yeah.
he didn't want to discuss it. So,
What did he want to talk about?
I'm just telling you, I brought it up to him. It was just, he laughed.
I doubt,
Actually,
yes. Of
actually,
course he
he
did.
just laughed.
He knows I doesn't take it. That's what I was telling you about those 20-horse fields. Those 20-horse fields, it looks like the rush on a Saturday night to
I love those
Ashley.
races. They're so
they go
fun.
they go to Ashley at Nova. They
They're
try
so
to
fun.
knock
They're
her
so
over.
fun, those races at Ascot to watch. They really. People think I don't like Ascot, and they're completely wrong. I love those Ascot races.
I'm the one that doesn't like it.
I love European races. I love watching their races and the horses and following them. I have an issue
the
with
notion
people
of leaving here.
when you have equal or better and prestigious purse races here,
Yes.
where you would be a fraction of the price, baffles me. And it
Blows our
people can
minds.
do whatever they want with their own horses. It's their business.
Yes.
But I can also disagree with it.
But
That's
the
my
other people,
job.
the people that say, "Well, I want to go to Ascot." Well, you can go to
As
Ascot
far as I
without a
know,
horse.
even jerks like us could find a way
You're
to get there.
allowed to go
Though I may
without
have
a
to go in
horse.
disguise, but you, it's a little harder to disguise. We could go as Laurel and Hardy.
We could probably get sponsored if we go in tux and tails and top
I
hats,
don't
right?
want I don't want tucks and tails.
Come on, man.
You
We'd look
maybe.
unbelievable.
I don't want it.
I'd look like the penguin from the
I look like?
Batman series. I don't know. If I look like the Riddler, I have no idea. Maybe we should do that for Halloween.
Who's your favorite villain
In the whole Batman spectrum?
in the original Batman, like the one on the TV show, the original?
Oh, the TV show? Cesar Romero's Joker was
Cesar Romero,
sensational.
legend.
Yeah.
As great as Nicholson was, seeing him do it, and they made the movie back in the '80s. Cesar Romero.
My
was
favorite villain overall in all like the Chris Nolan movies was Bane from Dark Knight Rises.
He was good.
Love Bane.
I kind of like Mr. Freeze. Otto Preminger played Mr. Freeze.
Then Arnold Schwarzenegger, more recently, 93. I like when you do the Bane voice, you have to,
I once
Take
asked an
back
actor.
your
I was having
city.
dinner with
do
people,
that.
and one of them was a fairly well-known actor, had been in a movie with Arnold, and I said something in the movie, and he said to me, that guy. Anyhow, head over to Naira Bets if you're not a member of Naira Bets. Think of how much fun. I mean, it's more fun than a frog in a glass of milk over here. Use the promo code TOGA200, and we will match for $200 of your initial deposit. Play through Naira Bets, keep the money in the game, and support racing in New York. Bet 50 or more, 50, I think it's 50. Is it exactly 50, the Mahoney?
I think
I mean, and let me tell you something about this. Big Invasion is going to be around 1 to 2. You've targeted them in
Making them
close
almost
to
even
a
money.
shot. That, my friends, is value. $20 towards your bankroll. Win or lose. Also, the low roller contest, $40 buy-in, $30 bankroll, $10 prize pool, and you get to meet the great Jay Connolly, who is a great man. I had drinks with him the other night, last Monday.
We'll call him great one more time. Get 3 greats in there for him.
I love Jay.
He's great.
He really is. He's a lot of fun. I think he's got like friends here all weekend or something. So he's probably really miserable today because he really doesn't have a lot of friends. And finally, last but not least,
Talking about Jay or yourself?
I have no friends. Who'd be friends with me? You. I got you. Hey, you and Lee. 3 to 5 on FS2 and 5 to 6:30 at FS1 will be on the Naira YouTube channel for the early races. I think this is only going to happen one more time during the meet, just as a heads up.
Okay.
Otherwise,
I'll keep
we'll be
that
on.
in mind.
You know I'm right about uppercase. You know I am. You're a traditionalist.
I am a traditionalist, but I mean, it's at some point, you're going to run out of.
When Secretariat runs next year, you're going to be happy with that?
I don't like when the harness. There was a harness Easy Goer a year and a half after
Well,
Easy
that's
Goer.
just, I like that.
No. We have a Mac Lobel? I mean, really? Come on.
Nia Trust. We should have a Nia Trust.
There'd be a riot. The Hamiltonian Society would surround the building.
I wasn't at Sarah Harris when he went over the rail, but I was in the Meadowlands.
I know a guy bet 50,000 on him when he went over the rail.
Really?
Yeah.
Did he go over the rail?
Tommy Goodyear, Tommy
must
Chin.
have
This
got
guy
off the
left
rail,
us
too.
now.
We're
Tommy
done.
Bet 50 dimes on him. Over the
You
right
know
over
what?
the
I
hub rail.
feel sorry for you guys because you've got to wait 3 days
3
for this
days.
idiocy again.
That's right. We're not back till Thursday.
Oh, Thursday. Yeah.
Gotta
we're-
go fet this guy on
whatever,
Wednesday.
Whatever.
Don't
Thursday, so
poo-poo
you
it.
got to wait till 4 days now.
4 days. Wow.
But don't worry.
I was going to say, you're going to be okay, but I'll see you Wednesday.
So I'm not sure I'll be okay. It's a good point. You make a great point. We're done. Johnny I up next. Reprise, scratches, and changes. Enjoy another spectacular day here in Saratoga.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name